conference room on the whiteboards, and we map out their faith, health, relationship, business, and finances. And we didn't make it through, which was great, which was fine. But that was one of the things for you too, even in you being able to set boundaries. It's hard for you.
Yes.
Until we had that conversation.
Yep. I think part of the setting boundaries was a nice follow-up to the embracing the worthiness. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all not worthy of the grace and forgiveness that we're given. That's a statement. But the fact that I can embrace that, I am a child of the Most High God, and He loves me, and He's got me, and He's always had me in the palm of my hand. And I look at that footprints in the sand poster a whole lot differently now in my life. But we just recently we're high school sweethearts, but we didn't get married till 30 years later. That's a story. If you want to hear it, it's a Healed by God Mafia. It's like a Hallmark movie.
That sounds like a story over a taco and a margarita.
It truly is. But we have my son and his wife and their two little ones, and one of them's autistic, living in our house now. It's been there about 2.5 months. Now, mind you, this is our son that we had to tough love out of the house at 21. Because no, you're not going to wake us up at 3 a.m. in the morning playing video games as a 21-year-old drinking and swearing at a 13-year-old from across the country in a video game. No, while you're driving pizza, delivering pizzas 20 hours a week. Get out, get a job, get a life, be a grown man. Like, let's have that happen. So fast forward a decade, we're married, we're working, and he's looking to level up in his life. And we had a long conversation. It was actually more his idea than mine. And we brought him back in, and we sat down with Ken, and we talked a lot about the relationship and the dynamics and all that had occurred and whatever. And so I put together a 20-slide PowerPoint on the boundaries of moving into our house. And and we spent 2 hours walking through that thing, his wife and himself and the two of us. And I will tell you, best thing I've ever done in my life, because my son's big, I'm not a liar. And I'm like, okay, great. So we talked a lot about communication. Don't come at me. We don't yell at each other. Yelling's not a part of my life anymore. I'm not having it. We're not going to go there. And he started, and it was in there that if we feel like we can't have calm conversations, we're going to walk away until cooler heads prevail. And then the next slide was, and if we're walking away and you don't want to let it go, we're going to agree to be reminded that we're going to walk away until cooler heads prevail. So we had 2 weeks in, we had that moment as mother and son. And I was like, look, you're getting a little feisty. And we agreed we'd walk away till calmer heads prevail. So I'm going to walk away right now. And I started to walk away. And he did that and came up out of the chair like he was going to come right after me to keep it going. And his wife went, oh, no. And so he turned and went, don't you tell me. And I whipped right around and said, no. We walked through that PowerPoint, and you agreed that we weren't going to do this. And you agreed that you'd be reminded. I said, so were you lying when you said yes? Or are you going to make a different choice now? And having that go-to of, well, because I get a lot of that, for those of you with kids, I'm sure we never said that. Yeah, it still happens at 32. I'm just going to throw that out there. So be ready for it. But it has been wonderful. Different, obviously, but no yelling, no fight. That boundaries thing has made all the difference. And it has been a really successful transition, a blessing for us to get to be around the little ones, especially Poppy with Kenny, our autistic grandson. He is so engaging with him. It's just such a blessing. But I don't feel like it would be going that way if we hadn't done the PowerPoint. And we definitely wouldn't have even thought about the PowerPoint or boundaries had we not talked about the dynamics of relationships, that second pillar. So it really, from a personal and a professional, it's just been life-changing to have you in our lives, Ken.
Thank you. So you guys, the business side, because guys, here's the deal. Everybody comes in and they think they're here for business or finances. And about 97% of the time, it has nothing to do with business and finances. It's faith, health, and relationships. I'm telling you, almost every time it's faith, health, and relationships, which for you guys is exactly what it was. Business was already doing good. You guys were multiple seven figures or nearing multiple seven figures in your business. What made you take the step, Brian, to get connected in the circle and get connected with us at GSD?
We got to a certain point, we kind of plateaued, and I didn't have a vision and I didn't have direction for the company. We hit $2 million and I was like, okay, I worked my tail off to get here. Now what? and I didn't know what to do. So, Chaz was in the group and I was looking, right? I was looking to connect with different business leaders and was out there reading about stuff like, where do I want this thing to go? What do I want it to be? Who do I want it to be in? I know I don't want to pay any more taxes. So how do I figure that out? All that good stuff. And then Chaz is like, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. And I was like, I'm too busy. I'm running the business. I'm running around. I'm
You know how many
busy.
times I hear I'm too busy?
So it tugs on my heart. I'm like, I prayed that night, Thursday night. I didn't decide till Friday morning that I was coming. And I'm like, or no, Wednesday night. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to pause my business life and jump in. And I got the direction I need in life. Forget about, all 5 pillars. I needed that. I lost 41 pounds. I've been trying for 6 years to lose 10 pounds. And it just shed.
Not an
right
exaggeration.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
That's not an exaggeration. I've watched him struggle for 6 years now with diet after this and whatever and blah, blah, blah. I have.
I've done every diet. I love food. I worked for Coca-Cola and traveled the country, went to every sporting event and ate every type of food there is and gained like 80 pounds.
Yeah.
I weighed 333.
Yeah.
Right. I weighed 280, whatever now. It's fluctuating.
One of my
right?
coolest moments for you guys is hilarious. I don't know if you remember this or not. We were on one of our Monday morning or Wednesday night calls, and you were sharing wins. And I think Ramona said, yeah, our whole closet, I can't walk in our closets because all of Brian's pants are laying in the floor because none of his pants fit him anymore.
Oh my God, his shorts fell off in the driveway yesterday, bringing the trash can down. I'm like, dude, you bought new pants, you need new shorts. I kid you not. It was like that song, Pants on the Ground, Pants on the Ground. Yeah, that was him.
I have to wear a belt with my pants down on my shorts because I'm afraid they're going to fall down. Like they're just, my body's shaped differently now.
But how good is
So
that? How
it's not-
good is
yeah,
that?
it's
How
not-
good
yeah.
does that feel for you to know?
My joints don't hurt. My mind's fresh and I'm getting more sleep. So that's key too, right? I was getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep and not good sleep. Going to bed late, midnight, getting up at 5 o'clock or whatever it is.
One of the things we talked about in the whiteboard session on their faith, health, and relationships, when we got into the health component, the relationship component, she likes to stay up late. He likes to go to bed early. I said, well, okay, well, we're going to have to fix that. And so we literally navigated a plan for you guys to be able to do this.
So we go to bed like 10, 10:30, and I get my 8 hours. I get up before her and shower, and then I wake her up. So that's how it works.
I'm going to bed at 10 or 10:30, but I'm still kind of laying there awake till about 12, 1 o'clock.
Which is fine. It's a process.
I'm getting there. But I also am getting more sleep than I used
She's
to.
sleeping, don't.
Which gives us a good segue right here. Marriage. Tell me about your marriage. Where were you guys at on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest? Where were you at in January, and where would you guys say you're at right now?
Oh, we were pretty high.
Maybe we should do the dating game thing we're doing for the Corner Couples Weekend right now, Boo. We should do that. No, we're actually doing a dating game for the Corner Couples Weekend. We're bringing the Egrises in. We're going to do a dating game. But anyway, so tell me where you were and where you're at. Where would you say you were at in January?
Okay, so most people are gonna think she's lying, but I'm gonna say 10.
Okay.
That's where,
Now-
hear our story and you'll know why I say that. He's yeah.
Now, if I say less than 10, I'm in trouble. So I don't know. But no, I think
Say 8 because I own my own level of
I
ridiculousness.
think we were 7.5, 8.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think now we've probably gained a point just because I'm more focused on leading the household, right? Like being faith-based. And I'm ashamed of saying this, but I'm going to say it because we're authentic, right? We had not gone to church since COVID. We attended online, did all that, but we had not gone to church. And that was one of the first pillars we talked about was faith, right? And it's not that I didn't pray, that I didn't talk to Jesus all day long. It's just that we didn't go and we weren't engaged in church. Well, we're members now. We're engaged. We're tithing. We're doing all the stuff that we should be doing and giving back to him. And look at this. We got 2 new hires that are killing it. So he's giving back to us. But for our relationship, we're high school sweethearts that were soulmates that got the mafia wanted to break my legs if I kept seeing her. And I was 18 years old. Scared the living bejesus.
They sent somebody to your workplace. Didn't they send somebody?
Yeah,
to
I
your
was
work?
standing there like a Publix working, and he came to the register and gave me all my letters that I wrote, all my
All those
mixtapes I
notes,
made.
like footballs, if you fold it up, because yeah, we're that old.
So we're in the 80s, right? I mean, and they came to me and said, "You can't see her anymore." I'm like, "No, we have this whole plan. Like, we're high school sweethearts. We're gonna go to school together. I'm gonna wait for her. I'm going to community college. I'm playing baseball, all this stuff." And they didn't believe it. They said, "No, you're not doing it. She's in high school and you're there and you're done." And they broke us up. So I went this way, she went that way. I had 3 kids. I got divorced after 10 years. She had 2 kids. We got to get back together. And she had no idea that the mafia threatened me
None.
until we talked 30 years later.
That's my mom. Mm.
So
Anyway, our relationship, we're soulmates.
Yeah.
We texted each other for a long time, talking about different things in our life. How do we line up in faith? How do we line up in music? Everything. You know, anything in the closet that we had, skeletons, were out on all totally authentic. Because I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
And if I do it with somebody, it's going to be totally out there and we know each other. You know, there's no fakeness going on, right? And then I said, all right, it's time to talk to you, because we did all that on text. We were texting till like 6 a.m. And then I said, I got to talk to you. And when I heard her voice, it was the same voice from high school.
Mm.
And I said, there she is. So, I mean, that's
Now-
how good our relationship is.
Mind
If
you,
no-
I was dying at the time too. So yeah, Leahy Clinic boss, the whole thing. So, and truly, and after 25 years of marriage and being a CCD teacher in a Catholic church, getting kicked out for leaving an abusive person, and now I'm dying. I was in a really bad spot in my faith, and he brought me back to church and back to Jesus. And I actually am a healed by God story from a pastor that was visiting in Africa to a church that I literally went to one time that day. And that was it. And here we are. So
the
yeah.
journey for you guys over the past 6
Crazy.
months, being a part of the circle, the whiteboard session, what's the biggest thing say one thing from the whiteboard session with you that you feel like has changed the most since we had those? So, well, actually, we spent 2 days together because you guys couldn't get it all in the 4 hours. We had to do another 2 hour
It
session.
was great.
It really was. Well, I talked about the faith and all that stuff. I think probably the communication stuff and the boundaries that we talked about. We have an amazing marriage, but a big thing from the whiteboard session, and actually just from being in the community, GSD community, is there are a lot of other husband and wife entrepreneurs to really navigate the difference of who we are to one another at work while still being respectful of who we are to one another in life. Because I show up to work and I'm the wife all the time in my mind. I'm not just, the partner in the business. And really learning that communication stuff and recognizing that, yeah, like there's a difference in how we function, but we still need to recognize who we are to one another at the end of the day, like in navigating all of that, especially as we're in growth mode and adding people to the team. Cause it was effortless really when it was just the two of us, because it's the two of us anyway. Like we're in it to win it for life, partners for life, right? There you go. But now we have a team and navigating that, and we clearly communicate very differently. Yeah. Strong silent type over there.
So what shifted for you?
Leadership.
What shifted from you from that whiteboard session?
So for me, I spent 30 years in the food business, working from being in a supermarket, putting items on the shelf as a merchandiser, to ending my career with Coca-Cola, being the national director of juice, managing the whole country, $50 million, traveling. So working hard was my mantra.
Mm.
And I worked all the time till 9 o'clock at night, like all the time. So I took that into this business and obviously let my health go. Right. Relationship was good. The first one wasn't, but the second one definitely was. And then my relationship with God was different along the way. So what changed for me is strengthening my faith and then taking care of myself so I could take care of who I'm responsible for.
Mm.
because I'm not just responsible for me and driving the business. I'm responsible for her, my family, my work family, and all of our clients. I pray for all our clients every day that the phone rings for them, because that's what we're supposed to do. I'm not there to sell them a quick ad and get revenue and move on down the road and pay my bills. That's just a benefit of doing what I do for them. And that's how we run our business.
I think part of the takeaway, and I talked about it with Josh, my friend back there too, when I met with him last, is it was a flip of a switch of a mindset thing of, we're not business owners, we're business stewards. And Ken and I talk a lot about that. I'm feeling very strongly called now about taking all of my teaching background and my business stuff and realizing you're not a business owner. You're still the same steward you've always been. You're just stewarding in a different way, in different things, and with a different focus. And so that's where I've been kind of focusing my mindset and my efforts and my professional development in shifting who I've been in the company to being more of the chief stewardship officer. That's like kind of my own personal title for me now in our company.
One of the major things that I've learned in business, and then it came back to me and hit me in the face with being in the circle, is you can spend your whole life, and God's seconding it for me right now. You could spend your whole life working hard, but not realizing the impact that you have with the people you're working with, and focusing on just, I got to a certain level in my career and I'm like, just want to make $100,000 and I'm good. Well, I did that 20 years ago. When I got there, I had no idea what to do next. So when you're doing entrepreneurship and you're running a business, you set goals for yourself, but it's always got to be changing, because you'll get to that goal and then you won't know what to do. Right? So it's a constant, it's never like, all right, I got to that goal and I'm done. And that's why the circle's so great, because there's a whole group of us that talk about how do we just keep improving and reach kind of our vision. It's a vision with a goal of giving back and doing it in God's favor. But that's one mistake I made kind of growing up is, I just want to hit this goal and I'm done.
Chasing the stuff.
I don't have to work anymore. I chase status, money, everything. And when I got there, I was like, not fulfilled.
No peace, no joy.
So for us today, we're sitting here. I'm going to give people an opportunity in just a minute that aren't connected with us to take a journey with us over the next 12 months. What would you say to somebody that, as we present this opportunity for them, what would your words and encouragement be for them?
Lean in and don't be afraid, because the fear is never going to go away. And what Ken said earlier, which was totally awesome, is you got to break through the barrier of that fear. And then you're going to have to do it again. And you're going to have to do it again. One person told me, and we were standing in the back room, we were getting ready to go out and talk, like in front of Coke, right? There's 2,000 people out there. I gotta lead a talk. And I'm like, I'm wicked nervous, I'm sweating. He goes, and this guy was the president of one of our divisions. And he goes, yeah, I'm nervous too. And I'm like, no way. He's like, we're all fearful, just at different points and different levels. But you know what? When you plow through that fear, it gets easier. It's like when I steal a base or I hit a home run, it gets easier over time. You figure out how to do things. It doesn't matter what it is. But when you're afraid, embrace it and plow through it. And that's one of the things that I love to do.
And I think from a me standpoint, what I would say is I spent a lot of my life really, really poor. So spending money is hard for me, like really hard, because teacher salary, poor, like that's the thing. Investing in this, my friend Ashley back there says it all the time. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So be smart about where you spend it, right? And who you spend it with. That's why I spend a lot of time with her. I just love her. But the money you will spend on the time you spend with them it's just invaluable. It's priceless what you get back. It is absolutely priceless what you get back. Make the investment, truly. Like he went, oh yeah, He said, what was it, $8,000, like for 10? Yeah. And he immediately went, absolutely. And I'm on the other Zoom side going, we're going to spend how much for what? Like what? Like it. And I'll tell you something. I would spend 100 times that much for what we've gotten out of it.
In my 30 years being in a professional industry like Coke and being exposed to speakers after speakers after speakers, some of the men that Ken has talked to, he is at that level. He doesn't want to say it, but he is. And I'm just along for the ride to watch what God does for this group. And I'm glad to be part of it.
Super proud to be in his proximity.